Hello, everyone. I am Jade Ullrich, a clinical dietitian here at KSB Hospital, and thank you for tuning in for this nutrition presentation on all about protein. So what is protein and why is it important? Protein is essential for muscle, skin, and tissue building and repair. Besides muscles, other body tissues are primarily made from protein like organs, hair, and eyes. So protein is vital for life, so it's important to eat protein foods every day. And there are two types of protein, animal protein and plant-based protein. So animal proteins include your meats, such as beef, pork, lamb, and veal, poultry, such as chicken and turkey, dairy products, such as milk, cheese, cottage cheese, and yogurt, eggs, fish, and seafood. And then the plant-based proteins include legumes, such as beans, peas, lentils, and soy, a variety of nuts and seeds, and other foods, such as quinoa. And so there are multiple types of vegetarian diets. So all of the vegetarian diets include plant-based proteins and excludes meat and poultry, but differ in the other types of animal products they contain. So first we have lacto-vegetarian, which excludes fish and eggs, but includes dairy products. And then we have ovo-vegetarian, which excludes dairy products, but includes eggs. And lacto-ovo-vegetarian excludes fish, but includes both dairy and eggs. Then we have pescatarian, which excludes dairy and eggs, but includes fish. And then lastly, we have vegan, which excludes all animal products and only includes plant-based proteins. And so February is Heart Health Month. So next I will talk about protein and heart health and how to choose heart-healthy proteins. So the American Heart Association recommends choosing healthy sources of proteins, mostly from plant sources, regularly eating fish and seafood, substituting non-fat and low-fat dairy products in place of full-fat versions, and for people who eat meat or poultry, choosing those that are lean and unprocessed. In general, red meats, such as beef, pork, and lamb, have more saturated fat, which is the least healthy type of fat, than skinless chicken, fish, and plant proteins. And saturated fats can raise your cholesterol and increase your risk of heart disease. So if you eat poultry, pork, beef, or other meats, choose lean meat, skinless poultry, and unprocessed forms. And plant sources of protein do not contain saturated fats, and they also provide dietary fiber and other nutrients. Nuts, peanuts, and soybeans also contain unsaturated fats, which are the healthier type of fat. And for more information on these types of fats, you can refer to my previous video I did on saturated fat. So next, here are a few shopping tips to help you when choosing protein foods. Dried beans, peas, and lentils are very inexpensive. Dried lentils cook quickly, while dried beans and peas require more preparation time. And look for no added salt or low sodium canned varieties, or rinse beans before cooking or eating to remove excess sodium. Choose fish high in omega-3 fatty acids such as mackerel, lake trout, herring, sardines, tuna, and salmon. Tofu is found in the refrigerator section of the grocery store. In the dairy section, look for unsweetened non-fat or low-fat milk, which would be skim or 1%, yogurt or cheese, or unsweetened fortified soy milk. Choose cuts of meat that have the least amount of visible fat, so you want to buy choice or select grades of beef rather than prime. Lean cuts of meat also contain the words round, loin, or sirloin on the package. And choose lean or extra lean ground meat, which have no more than 15% fat. And I have an example of this on the next slide. You also want to minimize processed meats such as deli slices, bacon, ham, salami, sausages, hot dogs, and jerky. And lastly, look for the heart check mark on food labels to find products that align with the American Heart Association's recommendations for an overall healthy eating pattern. So here's the American Heart Association heart check mark to look for on food labels. And then there's also two examples of different types of lean ground meats, which are both 85% lean and 15% fat. And lastly, here are a few preparation tips to help you prepare foods and meals to be more heart healthy. So feature vegetables, whole grains, beans, peas, lentils, and fruits with smaller portions of fish, low-fat or non-fat dairy, or lean unprocessed meats. Flavor any type of protein well with salt-free spices and herbs and garlic and onion. And when preparing meat, trim off visible fat or poultry skin before cooking and pour off the melted fat after cooking. If roasting a whole chicken or turkey, remove the skin before carving and serving the meat. Use healthier cooking methods such as baking, broiling, stewing, and roasting. And lastly, chill meat juices after cooking so you can easily skim off the hardened fat. Then you can add those juices back to stews, soups, and gravy. So thank you so much for joining me for this presentation on protein. I hope you learned a little more about what protein is and why it's important, the different types of protein, vegetarian diets, and some tips for choosing and preparing heart-healthy protein foods. Thank you and have a good night.